Our weekly visit from a professional from Edward Jones, and today we get Josh Royeton today. Good afternoon, Josh. How are you?
I'm real good. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. However, worldwide, certainly the situation very skittish for investors these days because of the issues going on in Russia and Ukraine and that battle in Eastern Europe going on. And investors really aren't sure what to do. We've seen some pullbacks in the market in recent days.
Yeah, absolutely. And we found that working with a financial professional can help you do a couple of things. The main one is to just look past the headlines, whether it's inflation, interest rates, the pandemic, elections, wars. Really, there's always something in the news that could affect your investment world in the short term. But if you construct a portfolio that's built for long term and that actually reflects your goals and risk tolerance, it might help you look past those headlines and realize, hey, this is actually a good time to get into the market.
If you look historically over the years, while the market goes up and then there are the jags down at certain times in history when things happen, it does turn around and then goes up again. It's like two steps forward, one step back instead of the other way. And so trending over the long term has been very good for investors.
Absolutely. That's why we encourage people to avoid emotional decisions. And many people, unfortunately, let their emotions drive their investment choices. So the market goes to that downturn, like you highlighted, and the value of their investment drops. They decide to sell to cut their losses, even though these same investments may still have a good business fundamentals and promising futures. And conversely, when the market is on an uptick, those same people might chase after a hot investment, even when they may become overpriced or have very little room left to grow. So we try to help people make less emotional decisions and make more rational decisions long term.
You look at some previous history, say 9/11 back in the day. After that happened, the market crashed severely over the course of several months, but it did turn around and pick up again. And so I guess that's lending to what you said about don't make a snap decision over something that you're depending on for 20, 30, 40 years down the road.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so it's important to adapt to changing circumstances. So over time, things may change, whether it's in the market or in the news or your life. And as long as you're kind of preparing for those on a set timeline, you can pretty much adapt to almost anything.
I'm sure at times, in addition to being a financial advisor, sometimes you're a psychologist and a counselor to some folks who come into you scared to death over what they're seeing in the headlines and afraid of what's going to happen to their money.
Absolutely.
How can folks reach you at Edward Jones to talk a little bit more about this and to get more advice long-term over their portfolios and their savings for the future?
Well, they can always reach me at 816-364-0614.
All right, Josh Royeton, certainly a scary time that we are in, and folks want to make sure they have their nest egg for the future. Josh Royeton from Edward Jones, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
You bet. Stick around. We've got more Live at 5 coming up after the break.